Board members, we all set? Here, thank you. Here we go. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the Community Unit School District 300 Board of Education, I would like to thank you for being in attendance, both virtually and in person, for tonight's board meeting. At this time, I would like to reconvene the meeting of the Community Unit School District 300 Board of Education to order for Tuesday, March 19th, 2024. Madam Secretary, would you please take the roll?
Burkett, present. Fiorentino,
Present.
Gothier, McKindy,
Present.
Scarpino,
Present.
Thomas,
Present.
Zettler.
Present.
You have 6 board members present.
Thank you. Dr. Harkin?
Yes, I'd like to invite up to the podium Principal Brittany Porsche from Big Timber Elementary School and her students to lead us in tonight's Pledge of Allegiance.
Parents, feel free to get pictures, stand up, come on up here, take pictures of your kids. This is kind of cool, so please do that. Go ahead, Brittany.
Okay, thanks. All right. Good evening, Dr. Harkin, members of the board, and community members. I'm Brittany Porsche. I'm the proud principal at Big Timber Elementary School. And I'm joined here tonight with my assistant principal, Nancy Israel, who's off to the side, and some Big Timber staff members that are in the back. So thanks for joining us. We are excited to be here tonight to lead you in the Pledge of Allegiance. It's with great pleasure that I get to introduce these amazing students that stand here in front of us. Before we begin tonight, I'd like to share with you why these students were chosen to lead us in the pledge tonight. As part of our third quarter PBIS incentive, our students were focusing on displaying acts of kindness. In order to fill our bucket to attend an all-school kindness assembly, which happened today, and to be able to duct tape the principal to the wall, which is happening on Friday. They are super excited. Wish me luck. The students that stand here before us were chosen by their class as demonstrating exemplary acts of kindness at Big Timber. Their teachers reported that our students show compassion towards their peers, making sure they feel included in all activities, are selfless and empathetic when helping their peers understand classroom skills and tasks, are kind and caring, giving their peers compliments each day to bring a smile to their faces, are helpful, assisting with their classmates and teachers in whatever ways they can, which include holding doors, picking up items that might fall, and cleaning up. These are an exceptional group of students standing before us, and they are role models for their peers. We are proud to have them representing Big Timber tonight, and I will introduce our students at this time. Emmy Peterson is in kindergarten here on the end. Hudson Johnson, Juniper Valstead, Ray Nestor. In first grade, we have Henry Gooden, Raina Partapilo, Tatum Prathan, and in third grade, we have Jalea Sanchez. Jalea Sanchez, I'm so sorry. Yes, Jalea Sanchez, Layla McIver, Santana Blornicek, and in fourth grade, we have Emmy Finn, Mason Went, and in fifth grade, we have Dexter Pareka. And now, if you would please stand and join our Bold Badgers in leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance for tonight. Bold Badgers, if you could turn around. Good job, turn around. Awesome, all right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Great job, Badgers.
Parents, good job. Good job. Thank you. We are amending the agenda. There will not be a second closed session. Again, there will not be a second closed session. So with these, do I have a motion to approve the amended agenda, please?
So moved?
Madam Secretary, would you please take the roll?
Fiorentino,
Aye.
Thomas. Zettler. Burkett, aye. McKindy. Scarpino.
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you. Dr. Harkin?
So we have 2 staff recognitions tonight that we'd like to announce. The first one is on March 14th, District 300 celebrated our Education Service Specialists. Our Education Service Specialists offer crucial support for students with individual education plans, 504s, social emotional learning needs, and classroom discipline concerns. Without a doubt, these individuals help ensure the success of our most at-risk students. Additionally, our Education Service Specialists oversee our district's crisis response teams, offering guidance in unforeseen and unpredictable circumstances. And unfortunately, we've had to use them way more than we'd like to this year. On behalf of District 300, I want to express my deep appreciation for our Education Service Specialists, and if you would, please join me in extending a heartfelt thank you to these committed professionals. And then the second group tonight that we'd like to celebrate is on March 19th. We celebrated World Social Work Day, which was today. I would like to take a moment to celebrate our school social workers who support the well-being of our students and the overall success of our educational community. District 300 school social workers consistently go above and beyond, creating a nurturing and inclusive environment for all students. They tirelessly work to address the diverse needs of our learners, offering guidance and support in times of difficulty and celebrating triumphs, both big and small, during times of success. These professionals contribute significantly to our students' social and emotional development, making a lasting difference that extends far beyond the walls of our schools. On behalf of District 300, I want to express my deep appreciation for our school social workers. Their dedication to fostering a supportive learning environment aligns with our vision to empower and equip each student to reach their highest potential in their chosen pathway. So, that would be all of our recognition.
Thank you. For those who have watched our board meetings both in person and over the internet, you will remember we have rules of decorum. These rules serve a purpose so we as a board can have a meaningful and productive board meeting. In order for this to occur, decorum must be maintained. The following are the rules of decorum. First, there's no need for anyone to call out comments during our meeting or to raise their voices, nor to interrupt another speaker or presenter. We as a board will listen to you and we will be respectful. We will consider your comments but will not dialogue or engage with speakers in this forum. Board members may choose to discuss matters brought up during public comment during board discussion. However, I need to remind everyone that this would be a board discussion and the board will not dialogue or engage with anyone other than the superintendent and other board members. I ask you to please be respectful, civil, and courteous during our meeting. Second, if a person chooses to be disruptive, I will gavel the person and ask them to please stop their disruptive behavior. Additionally, our district safety officer or his agent may warn them that if they choose to continue their disruptive behavior, additional consequences will be forthcoming. Third, if a person chooses to continue to be disruptive and not follow the rules, they will be removed from our meeting. This action is a direct result of the person's choice to be disruptive. Fourth, we as a board will respectfully listen to each speaker. Just because we didn't vote the way someone wanted us to does not mean we didn't listen or take into consideration what you had to say. Also, please remember, we all learn differently. Some of us take notes during presentations and therefore take our eyes off of the speaker. It doesn't mean we are not listening. Fifth, in our effort to accommodate more seating in our boardroom, we respectfully ask you to remain seated unless you need to use the restroom or you're a speaker at the podium. And finally, I want to thank you in advance for your cooperation. The board and I look forward to a meaningful and productive meeting. We are at the public participation point in our meeting. Please note that the Open Meetings Act provides any person the opportunity to address the board under the adopted public participation policy. That being said, the board would like to advise the public that we will not consider statements read during public participation that are not authored by the reader to be credible unless the board has previously received the statement in writing from the author. Additionally, the author should indicate that he or she has granted the public participant the authority to read the statement on his or her behalf. We've had 5 people sign up for public participation this evening. I will call each of you up to the podium individually. Please state your name and relationship to the district and limit your comments to 3 minutes. Please note the following. Each speaker has been provided with guidelines for public participation. Minors need to be accompanied by their parents or guardians. The board will consider your comments, but will not dialogue or engage with speakers in this forum. Questions raised may be assigned to the superintendent for an answer. As appropriate, a member of the administration may reach out to the speaker to give them relevant information or to ask for additional information. This is done to make sure the board has all the information needed to properly address the speaker's concerns. Charges, complaints, or challenges against staff members of the district will not be heard in open meetings and should be made in writing to the board and superintendent. We also ask that speakers refrain from personally attacking district staff or members of the board. We ask each participant to be respectful to all individuals who have signed up to speak and adhere to the allotted time limit. We also ask that speakers conduct themselves in a civil and courteous manner and refrain from trying to engage members of the board during public participation. Failure to abide by board time rules or those found out of order by the board may lead to exclusion from the meeting, to be fair to all participants. Thank you in advance for your understanding and your cooperation. If I mispronounce your name, I do apologize. Our first speaker for 3 minutes, Henry Hansen.
Hello, I'm Henry Hansen. I'm a senior at HHS. You may remember me from the last time I spoke in October. I'm here once again to talk about the musical at Hampshire. I'm not only representing myself, but many of the students who cannot be here tonight or did not feel comfortable speaking tonight. Last time I was here, one of you had stated that you had failed us, and I believe that you are still failing us. We just finished our run of the prom at Hampshire, and it was one of the most stressful musicals I and many of my peers have ever been a part of. It was not because of the show itself, but because of the pressure and stress from the regulations that have been put upon us. We felt very betrayed, let down, and left in the dark by a lot of the decisions that have been made. I hope all of you have gotten to see the actual performance yourselves, not only because it was amazing, but also I hope you heard the message of the story. Your safety plan did not make us feel safer, but less seen. Thank you.
Thank you. Our second speaker for 3 minutes, Mandy Hanson.
Hi, my name is Mandy Hanson. I'm a resident of Gilbert's and a parent of 2 HHS students. I hope you each had the opportunity to watch the prom and to go see the overwhelming amount of joy and love that took place in the Commons after each performance. If you did, I hoped you would understand why we were so passionate about the theater and music programs and the amazing community they provide for our students. But it doesn't seem like some of you have. I'm coming before you today to talk about the impact of your safety plan on the community, because it doesn't feel like you heard us in October, and it doesn't feel like you're hearing us now. But more importantly, because I really want the district to reflect on how you can truly support students in the queer community moving forward. Maybe if the district had included us in the development of the safety plan, or at least shared it with us, we would have felt less frustrated and more like partners than adversaries. But as it was, we learned of the safety plan aspects as they came up, such as prohibiting the use of the name of the performance in the daily announcements, prohibiting promoting the show in the community, reducing the number of shows, and cutting off ticket sales a week before the show, just to name a few. Those restrictions sent a very clear message to the students and their families that of this performance, that even though you granted them the right to do the show, that they should not be proud of their efforts, and essentially they should be quiet and hide in fear of bullies and what they might say or do. According to the Trevor Project, LGBTQ plus young people who found their school LGBTQ plus affirming report much lower rates of attempting suicide. Hampshire High School music and theater departments are, without question, LGBTQ plus affirming, with a large community of supportive peers. This show reinforced that message, but you tried to block that affirmation every step of the way. And while I want to believe that you acted in what you felt was the best interest of student safety against outside influences and bullies, I don't think you ever considered that it was your actions were the ones that were actually inflicting pain and shame on our students. You are not an ally or an advocate for students if the policies you make hurt them. The message you sent to the students in the queer community was that your support for them was conditional on them keeping the musical as quiet as possible. Telling our children we are okay with who they are as long as they don't tell anyone about it is a very different message than telling them we are proud of who they are, and if anyone has a problem with it, we will be the ones standing next to them and supporting them. Which message did you send to our kids? It wasn't the latter. Please, please do better moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker for 3 minutes, Sharon Fetting.
Hello, I'm Sharon Fetting. I'm a parent of twin boys and Jacobs who are seniors. I haven't been here in a while. I guess back in July, you said you wanted to meet with me. Just so you guys know, I would never meet with any of you. What you need to do is you need to have a form. You need to have a teacher from science, math, English, and explain to us parents why the scores are so poor in the school district. The one that was cited was high school proficiency was 25.9%. That's third world country. Explain to the parents, that's what you need to do up here. Plus, I want parents to know that they need to opt out of all surveys because they're data mining your children. I asked a couple months ago about the one that was gonna be, let me see, it was called, Illinois is trying to do the Illinois Youth Survey, which is going to be invasive. They told me they weren't doing it, but through emails that we've gotten through the FOIA, it sounds like it's going to be implemented either now. Someone said they did some surveys without telling the parents, or it's going to start next year. I'm not sure which one, because when I was looking at the FOIAs, I couldn't really figure it out quickly. So parents, be aware. Make sure you fill out the opt-out forms for all surveys, and also for that survey, you have to fill out the Illinois Youth Survey opt-out form. If you don't feel comfortable with your children doing something in this school, ask for the opt-out form, because this school board and school will not tell you that you can. I've had a long 4 years. I'm so glad my kids are graduating, but I'm going to continue fighting. Let's see, the other thing is, you complained about FOIAs last July. The reason we had to do FOIAs because when we asked a question, we were told to fill out FOIAs. So that's on you. We need to get rid of the DEI hustle. Let's worry about academics. If we could just get academics down, don't you think maybe the kids wouldn't be so depressed? They could read, they can write, they can do arithmetic. I'm tired of the DEI. The bullying, I believe that's been happening. My daughter is now almost 22, back in 3rd grade. She had a kid that was smashing stuff, turning over desk. You couldn't get rid of him for like 3 months because of your policies. This is why kids are bullying in high school. You're not taking care of the problem in grade school. You need to lay down the law with these kids, not this restorative justice or whatever you're doing, because it's not working. And what I've heard from the 8th grade teachers is the group that's coming in to be freshmen next year, watch out, because they are the worst group ever. And I blame the school district, and I blame your policies on how to discipline the kids, because you're not doing a good job. And my son is joining the Marines, and I'm really offended when I don't see board members
Thank you.
stand up and put
Our next speaker for 3 minutes. Thank you, Ms. Fetting. Our next speaker for 3 minutes, Noel Malo.
Good evening. My name is Noelle Mallow, Hampshire High School student and cast member of the prom. After the school's musical was finally approved, I expected to be happy with the results, or at least content. Despite being constantly reminded of the multitude of restrictions on the musical, I anticipated enjoying the process of putting on a show that I knew people would love. But my peers and I feel that the restrictions placed on the musical unnecessarily elevated the normal level of stress present when we put on a musical. The rules and restrictions put in place did not make us feel safe. They made us feel silenced. They made us feel outcasted. But most importantly, we felt failed. Once again, we felt that our district failed us. Ultimately, I hope that if you did see the performance, your attendance at the prom allowed you to see your actions reflected. Less in the actions of characters like Hawkins, but more in those of Mrs. Green and the PTA, who mask their actions under the veil of student safety. And I hope this reflection allows you to see the faults of your approach and improve the way that you handle situations such as these in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next item on the agenda, I'm sorry, what was wrong? Oh, I'm sorry, yes, I'm sorry. Jillian Vanderhayden, I'm sorry. Sorry, Jillian.
Hello, my name is Jillian Vanderhayden, and I am a senior at Hampshire High School, and I was just in our production of The Prom. Just about a year ago, I stood up here and was recognized for the Illinois High School Musical Theater Awards for top 12 actresses in the state. In order to apply for that opportunity again this year, we are required to write a page essay explaining our experience in our musical. This is an excerpt from the essay I am submitting this year. The challenges Hampshire High School had to face to get the prom approved ironically mirrored the challenge of adversity that were faced in the story we wanted to share. The prom is a sweet story about love and acceptance. The entire cast took a stand as one to express how important we felt this musical was for our community. As we experienced this together, our bonds of friendship grew even stronger. I will cherish these memories for a lifetime as we made history being the first high school in Illinois to perform the prom. It only happened because we fought for something we all feel so passionately about, and that is that everyone deserves to be who they are, feel safe to express it, and not be silenced. In the show, I sing a song that is titled, "It's Not About Me," and a short way to describe it is, the song is all about me. But what our world needs to realize is that it's not about me. It's about fighting for those who are in need of acceptance and understanding of the hate they unfortunately endure. Although the musical may not have gone how we planned it to, it still went on, and at least our cast, crew, directors, faculty, and all of our supporters can sleep at night knowing they fought for something they believed in, and we accomplished that. Thank you.
Thank you. I believe we're now at good news. Board members.
District 300 is pleased to announce our 2024 summer offerings. This year's summer offerings include Summer Scholars, which is for students entering 1st through 8th grade, Career and Technical Education, or CTE, Summer Enrichment, which is for students entering 5th through 8th grade, Driver's Education, which is for students who are age 15 by April 29th, Extended School Year, which is for special education students through a referral, High School Summer School, which is for current high school students and students entering 9th grade, Middle School Credit Recovery, which is for current 6th, 7th, and 8th grade students, and Summer Fine Arts, which is for students entering 3rd through 8th grade. For complete details, including registration information, please visit www.d300.org/summer.
Parents and guardians invited to take 5 Essentials survey. District 300 invites all parents and guardians to take the 5 Essentials survey. The survey is administered on behalf of the Illinois State Board of Education and measures the following 5 essentials deemed critical for school success: effective leaders, collaborative teachers, involved families, supportive environments, and ambitious instruction. To access the survey, please visit District 300 website at www.d300.org/5essentials.
D300 Food Pantry recognizes District 300. District 300 was one of several groups that was recently recognized by the D300 Food Pantry for being an outstanding community partner last year. The recognition highlights consistent support from District 300, which last year included more than 21,000 pounds of school food donations and volunteer time from dozens of staff members, athletic teams, and clubs. A plaque presented to District 300 during the recognition reads, "We humbly and wholeheartedly thank School District 300 and recognize them as an outstanding and invaluable community partner to the D300 Food Pantry. District 300 thanks the Food Pantry for the recognition and looks forward to maintaining a strong partnership with the nonprofit organization."
District 300 Foundation marks milestone with 300th meeting. The District 300 Foundation for Educational Excellence marked a unique milestone on March 6th by celebrating its 300th meeting. A nonprofit organization that seeks to enhance student learning, the District 300 Foundation has provided District 300 with more than $1 million worth of grants since 2002. These grants support all areas of instruction, including the sciences, arts, literacy, leadership, and physical education. For example, a recent foundation grant funded the Rail Yard Fitness program proposed by Hampshire Elementary School PE teacher Andrew Rakowski. Rail Yard Fitness activities focus on muscular endurance, strength, and flexibility while also correlating with the district, state, and national fitness standards. Here on the screen, you can see Rail Yard Fitness in action at Hampshire Elementary School. The program is now rotating from school to school. District 300 community members can learn more about the District 300 Foundation by visiting d300foundation.org.
High school women's empowerment clubs host Women's History Month trivia event. The women's empowerment clubs from District 300 high schools hosted a Women's History Month trivia event earlier this month at Hampshire Social. Each round of trivia was designed by club students, with prizes being provided by women-owned businesses. District 300 congratulates the high school women's empowerment clubs for hosting a successful Women's History Month trivia event.
District 300 celebrated Black History Month. District 300 celebrated Black History Month in February, and would like to highlight two of the month's activities. First, a Celebrating Black Brilliance event took place at Dundee Crown High School. The event included a panel of speakers who discussed their experiences within District 300 and its surrounding communities. In addition, attendees were invited to network with panelists, local vendors, and Black Youth Alliance students after the panel event concluded. Second, members of the Jacobs High School Black Youth Alliance decorated the Algonquin area Public Library Teen Room in celebration of Black History Month. The library worked with Jacobs to help ensure students had an opportunity to represent Black culture in their own way during the month.
Project showcased at District 300 Science Fair. More than 480 students from middle school and high school participated in the 67th annual District 300 Robert E. Hart Science Fair at Dundee Crown High School. The fair showcased projects exploring insulation and heat retention, sunscreen, wind turbines, and more. Approximately 250 volunteer judges assessed the exhibits at the event and provided feedback. Based on their scores, more than 100 projects from District 300 were selected to advance to the Region 5 Illinois Junior Academy of Science Exposition in Newark Community High School this past weekend. Selected projects will next be exhibited at the State Exposition in May. District 300 congratulates all of the students who participated in the 67th Annual District 300 Robert E. Hart Science Fair.
Dr. Harkin, Superintendent's report.
Yes, I'd like to bring Dr. Freeman up to the podium to talk about our summer programming.
Good evening, Superintendent Harkin and Board of Education. Tonight I'm sharing with you an update on D300 summer programming, which was mentioned earlier tonight. It takes a team to put together these programs for our students. You see the name of our team there on the screen. Our team does a fabulous job designing programs that meet the needs of our students. At D300, we strive to keep the learning going during summer months so that students can continue to develop academic and social emotional skills. D300 is offering a variety of programs during summer 24. We include offerings such as Extended School Year, known as ESY, and programs offered in partnership with Northwestern Illinois Association, NIA. Additionally, we're offering opportunities for students to engage in credit recovery, credit enhancement. They can extend their learning in literacy and math and can also attend a variety of summer camps. As a refresher, ESY and NIA programs are offered for students who are identified by their IEP and who meet certain criteria for eligibility. These programs help support students with a variety of disabilities so that they can continue to make academic and social emotional learning progress. Credit recovery options are offered for both middle school and high school students. These courses are specifically designed for students who have failed a course during the school year. Students complete classes during the summer to learn essential content from the class or course that they failed. Credit enhancement are courses that are offered for students who are seeking to get ahead in their high school credits. We often see students doing this if they have a wide range of interests and they want to free up their class schedule to take multiple electives during the school year. Here you will see detailed information about our ESY programs. These are offered through the month of June during the morning hours. Our sites for the program are DeLacy, Lincoln Prairie, Eastview, and for all secondary students, Algonquin Middle School. Here you can see similar information for our NIA programs, which are also scheduled during the month of June and go slightly later in the day, dismissing at 1:30. Our site for all NIA programs is Sleepy Hollow Elementary. Credit recovery for middle school and high school students, along with credit enhancement, has 2 sessions as shown on the slide. Students will be at Hampshire High School and at Oak Ridge School. These programs run from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Students can register for either session 1, session 2, or both sessions. We also offer a host of other options for students during the summer, including driver's ed, literacy and math extension, and a variety of summer camps. Our Summer Scholars Program is for rising grade 1 through grade 8 students. This program provides students an opportunity to address high priority standards in both reading or math. Families have been notified of this program, and we're encouraging registration from any family who wants their child to extend their learning during the summer months. We also send out specific invitations to families where student data indicates a need for significant academic support. This program is taking place throughout the month of June with transportation provided to zoned schools. One fun feature about Summer Scholars is that students participate in field trips that integrate social studies and science concepts. For athletics, we offer lots of athletic camps. You see the information on the slide here. We have over 100 different athletic summer camps for a variety of age groups and sports. In April, we will post a full list of each coach's camps, which will be found on the D300 web store. If families are looking for more information, they should reach out to their high school athletic department. For students who want to explore career and technical topics, we have a wide variety of camps, as you see here on the screen. If there's a skill or career that students want to explore, we have options for them, including baking, cooking, welding, woodworking, automotive tech, fashion apparel and textiles, robotics, and engineering. Here you can see some photos of our previous campers in action. CTE camps have 2 sessions, so students can enroll in 2 different experiences. If students stay for both sessions, we'll give them a snack partway through the morning. Transportation is also provided upon request. Students have additional summer opportunities through the ECC Kids College, which is another terrific option for families. And finally, we have fine arts camps also. Band, orchestra, and choir are all being offered during June. Students can sign up for choir plus an instrumental ensemble, or they can choose to participate in a single camp. Our musicians will be very busy this summer. There's also art and theater camps running at the end of June. Students can enroll in both camps, art and theater, or they may enroll in just one. All fine arts camps will be taking place at Carpentersville Middle School. At this time, I'd like to introduce Dr. Melanie Gravel, Director of Early Childhood and Elementary Literacy, who will share an exciting update on our summer reading program. Dr. Gravel and our Director of Secondary Literacy, Beth Gowdy, have done a great deal of work to enhance and expand our partnerships with our community libraries. Dr. Gravel.
Thank you, Dr. Freeman. Good evening, Dr. Harkin, Dr. Scarpino, members of the board, as well as our community members. I am very grateful to have this opportunity to share information with you regarding plans for our summer reading program, also known as Summer Read 300. Acknowledging the importance of the ability to read proficiently to a person's academic, personal, and professional success, we are committed to growing and developing all District 300 students as proficient readers. We recognize and value the importance of establishing and maintaining community partnerships and engaging our families as we work toward this goal. This summer, all District 300 students will have the opportunity to participate in Summer Read 300. District 300 is proud to partner with all 8 of the local public library districts servicing our students, which are listed on this slide. Each public library will run its summer reading program with unique theming, activities, and criteria tailored to appeal to all ages, making this the perfect opportunity for our youngest pre-K learners, all the way to our high schoolers and everyone in between. Through Summer Read 300, we will support, promote, and recognize our students' completion of their local public library's summer reading requirements. Now, let's talk about why Summer Read 300 matters. In addition to supporting our goal of developing all students as proficient readers, which is aligned to our district's strategic plan goal 2, there are numerous benefits to students who engage in a summer reading program. We would be encouraging reading as a lifelong interest. Reading over the summer also helps students maintain their skills, and summer reading programs generate interest in public libraries as well as books, and it can be just a really fun opportunity for family time this summer. Before I conclude, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Dr. Smith, Mr. Hummel, Mrs. Gowdy, and our local public library districts for their partnership in planning our summer reading program. More details regarding Summer Read 300 will be communicated later this spring, and I am so excited for our students to engage in this programming, and I know that their reading will take them on many exciting adventures this summer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Board. That's our update on summer programs. Happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Board members, anything? No? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And next, I'll invite Anthony McGinn, our Chief of Communications, to do our year in review for 2023.
Good evening, Board of Education. Good evening, Superintendent Harkin. I'm excited to present a summary tonight of District 300's accomplishments for the past year. During tonight's year in review presentation, we'll showcase the district's 2023 achievements with a focus in several key areas, including academics, extracurriculars, diversity, food services, resources and facilities, and teachers and staff. In 2023, District 300 was named one of the best districts in the state of Illinois by Niche, which is an organization that ranks districts K through 12. In 2023, Niche ranked District 300 as the 60th best district in Illinois. That's an advancement of 76 spots since our 2014 ranking of 136. Now, while tonight's presentation does focus on 2023, we do want to point out that Niche has recently released their 2024 rankings, and District 300 has been ranked as the 66th district in the state, and we're currently reviewing the details of that particular ranking right now. In 2023, the district received an overall Niche grading of an A-, and that overall grade reflects our performance across a range of categories. The district did exceptionally well in 3 categories where we earned a grade in the A range. Those are clubs and activities, college prep, and diversity. And we also earned grades in the B range in several additional categories, including academics, food, resources and facilities, sports, and teachers. So these particular areas are where we know we can improve, and we're going to talk about that through the lens of our strategic plan. Many of the actions that we have associated to improvement are tied to our strategic plan, and while tonight's presentation is not intended to provide a detailed overview of the strat plan, we do want to provide a brief overview of the 5 main goal areas for our community. So as a brief recap, our strategic plan comprises 5 goal areas. Goal 1 is to develop the whole child. And here we're looking to ensure that students are well-rounded by providing access to resources beyond academics. Goal 2 is to ensure individual student growth and achievement. And here we're looking to ensure that all students have the ability to access coursework that aligns with their individual strengths, interests, and needs. Goal 3 is to develop great staff and leaders. And here we're looking to ensure that staff have the resources, the PD, and the opportunities needed to perform at their highest ability. Goal 4 is to engage all stakeholders. Here we're looking to ensure that all District 300 stakeholders have a voice in guiding the district's decision-making. And Goal 5, which is use district resources equitably and efficiently. Here we're looking to ensure that every student receives sufficient resources to have the same opportunity to succeed. We believe the work in each of these goal areas will continue to produce positive outcomes for our students, for our staff, our parents, and our community. So I'd like to take a look at several categories in the Niche report and address how the district is making progress through our strategic plan in each of these categories, beginning tonight with academics. So in 2023, Niche did provide District 300 with a grade of a B+ in academics. Some of our accomplishments in academics included improved support for students with 504 and IEPs, enhanced assistance for our English learner student population, continued implementation for new institutional materials to more strongly support K-12 literacy, and enhanced grade level PD for our math instructors that focuses on increasing math discourse. Let's take a closer look at some of our academic accomplishments. We'll start with AP testing. In 2023, our students completed a total of 2,293 AP tests. That is the highest number in a decade. In addition to that, our students are scoring high. Many earned a score of 3 or higher, with scores often resulting in college credit. So not only do we have the most and the highest number of students taking the test in a decade, those students are performing well, and in many cases, they are earning college credit. Access testing, and for reference, access testing is a state achievement test taken by English learners each year to measure their progress in learning English. In 2023, District 300 had 200 students who tested high enough to exit the program. And exiting the program is a good thing. It demonstrates that a student has achieved high levels of progress and proficiency in English. We'll take a look at some ELA successes for 2023. We had 503 students who moved from approaching grade level expectations to meeting grade level expectations on the ELA components of statewide testing. That's an increase of 5.8%. We also had 399 students who moved from not meeting grade level expectations to approaching grade level expectations. That's an increase of 4.6%. When we examine math successes for 2023, we had 95 students who moved from approaching grade level expectations to meeting grade level expectations on the math components of statewide testing. That's an increase of 1.1%. We also saw 34 students move from not meeting grade level expectations to approaching grade level expectations, an increase of 0.4%. The district is incredibly proud of our graduation rate. We have a graduation rate of 95.9%, and that is higher than the state average of 87.6%. In 2023, we had 1,737 students graduate, and we are certain that they are well positioned for future success due to the education that they received here in District 300. And the class of 2023 has much to celebrate. There were 3 National Merit semifinalists. 37 students earned associate's degree through the Accelerate College program. That is a program that allows students to earn a high school diploma and an associate's degree simultaneously, completely tuition-free. Students earned 89 seals of biliteracy, 100 AP scholars. We had 130 Illinois State scholars, 271 students as part of the National Honor Society, and students earned 446 industry certifications, and we'll discuss those a little bit later on this evening. And finally, for the class of 2023, over 2,000 students took over 2,000 AP exams over their 4-year academic period, and they earned over $15.6 million in scholarships. So just as the class of 2023 observed some great things to celebrate, so too did our schools. Last October, the Illinois State Board of Education released the 2023 Illinois Report Card, and that provides information regarding how each public school in the state progresses in several categories, including academics, graduation rate, staff retention, financial expenditures, and more. As part of this process, ISB provides school with a designation. In 2023, there were 3 District 300 schools who received exemplary designation, which is the state's highest designation. And those schools are Eastview Elementary, Hampshire Elementary, and Newport Elementary. In 2023, the district had 22 schools who earned the commendable designation. That is the state's second highest designation out of 5 categories. Now, for the sake of time this evening, I won't read each of these individually, but there is one school I would like to highlight in particular, and that is Perry Elementary. In 2022, the year before, ISB established 4 summative designations. There was exemplary, commendable, targeted support, and comprehensive support. Perry received comprehensive support. 1 year later, in 2023, Perry was able to move not up by 1 designation, but by 2 designations. So they earned commendable status in 2023. This is a significant achievement and a tremendous celebration. And while there are many causes for this success, there's one area I'd like to highlight tonight, and that is reducing chronic absenteeism. According to the 2023 Illinois Report Card, Perry saw a 15% decrease in their chronic absenteeism compared to the prior school year. And this decrease is attributed to several factors, including the development of a school attendance team, enhanced outreach from a family school liaison, and commendable responsiveness from school parents and guardians. Now, what's important to note about Perry's success is that it proves that when the district focuses its resources to address specific challenges, we can achieve successful outcomes. And this is important to remember as we look at one more school designation tonight, and that's Carpentersville Middle School. So in 2023, CMS received a targeted support designation. This is the third out of 5 designations. But just as we saw the district achieve great improvement with Perry, I will not be surprised to see CMS's school designation improve on future Illinois report cards. We do want to take a look at some of our academic successes for students this year. We did have more than 36 students who participated in the Illinois Junior Academy of Science State Exposition, with 31 students earning a gold award. This is Andrew Chang, who was a junior at Dundee Crown High School. He earned one of the top 100 scores in the nation on the German exam. Earlier this evening, I discussed the 444 certifications that the class of 2023 achieved, and this is an example of one of those types of designations. In this photo, you can see 8 Hampshire High School students who received certification from the National Institute of Metalworking Skills. This certification verifies that a student has achieved proficiency in specific metalworking knowledge and the abilities, and it provides our students with an advantage over other non-certified individuals when they seek employment, particularly in the field of manufacturing. A Dundee Crown senior, Alexis Reyes-Keldo, she passed 10 automotive service excellence exams. This certification is proof of an individual's technical knowledge, and it's great that District 800 students can earn these types of certifications to make them more competitive when seeking employment opportunities. And to close the academic portion of this year in review presentation, we'd like to acknowledge an award that Hampshire High School received. In 2023, the International Technology and Engineering Educators Association awarded Hampshire the Industrial Technology Department with their Program of Excellence Award. This award is one of the highest international honors bestowed to the technology and engineering education programs in K-12 settings. As mentioned earlier, tonight's focus is not a detailed analysis of the strategic plan, but we did want to cover how the actions we're discussing today incorporate into the plan. So our strategic plan areas were focused in academics largely through Goal 1 and in Goal 2 in 2023. Transitioning out of academics into athletics, in 2023, District 300 received a grade of a B+ in athletics. For the sake of time, I will not read all of the items on this particular slide, but I will highlight 3. We worked to improve summer camp communications, which yielded participation increases across schools last summer. We streamlined summer camp registration so that parents no longer need to register in one place and pay in another. And we also worked to update our concussion protocols to make sure they're aligned with CDC guidance. I believe he's here tonight, but Tommy Parisi is the mastermind behind a lot of the athletic accomplishments of this year, so we'd like to thank Tommy for his work. We're very happy anytime a student or a team does qualify for state, and District 300 in 2023 had many different accolades to celebrate. We had teams and individuals who qualified for cheerleading, for swimming, for wrestling, for track, for tennis, for golf, and for cross country. So we'd like to congratulate all of our state qualifiers. There are 3 notable achievements that we do want to mention regarding athletics. First, the Jacobs varsity dance team competed for the first time in the Universal Dance Association National Dance Team Championship. Our Special Olympics basketball team won the high school Division II state tournament, and Dundee Crown started its first flag football team. The strategic plan areas for athletics focused largely on Goals 1 and Goal 4 in 2023. Transitioning to clubs and activities. In 2023, Niche provided District 300 with a grade of an A- in clubs and activities. Some of our highlights and accomplishments included a Jacob senior who took first place in the computational science at the Division Unlimited state competition. A Jacobs junior was a runner-up at the IHSA Policy Debate State Finals, and the Hampshire math team made it to state. We've had some fine arts successes. District 300 was named one of the best communities in music education by the National Association of Music Merchants Foundation. The Dundee Crown Jazz Ensemble was named grand champion at the Illinois State Jazz Festival, and at that same festival, the jazz band earned first place in Class 2B, and the jazz ensemble earned first place in Class 4A. We had one Jacob senior, Dimitri Rowan, who was selected for the scenery crew as part of the Illinois High School Theater Festival's all-state production. And we had 9 students representing our high schools who were selected to participate in the Illinois Music Educators Association all-state ensemble. I think Sheila Karate-Kagan is in the audience this evening, so we do want to acknowledge her work in the fine arts area as well. The strategic plan focus for clubs and activities was largely focused on Goal 1. Transitioning to diversity. 2023 niche provided District 300 with a grade of an A- in diversity. Some specific accomplishments included launching the LGBTQ+ parent support group and the learning space. We worked to develop an equity reporting tool to help address equity issues in our middle schools. That equity reporting tool is also available for our high schools as well. Our Director of DEI, Adrienne Harries, began meeting with our student equity committees. We continue to cultivate students and support clubs and alliances, and we relaunched the Bilingual Parent Advisory Committee. The strategic plan work for diversity largely focused on 2 goal areas, and that was Goal 1 and Goal 2 in 2023. For food services, niche provided District 300 with a grade of a B-. This is a grade we expect to see increase next year. What you're seeing this year is a grade for District 300's previous food provider, Aramark. We have transitioned earlier this year to Organic Life. And as you can see, Organic Life has expanded our scratch-made products at all grade levels, and they've increased the amount of fresh fruits and vegetables on daily menus by more than 100% by volume, and the feedback we've received so far has been positive. The strategic plan work focused on food services largely relates to Goal 5 in 2023. For resources and facilities, in this category, District 300 received a grade of a B from niche in 2023. Last year, the district continued to maintain admirable cost effectiveness in our operations without compromising the quality of education that we offer students. Historically, the district has spent $2,000 less than state average per pupil. We continue to have one of the lowest operating expenses per pupil when compared to all other Kane County school districts. In our last fiscal year, the district had the 2nd lowest operating expense per pupil for Kane County unit school districts. We've been very conscious of managing our district's tax rate, and in fact, we have one of the lowest tax rates in Kane County. The district tax rate has steadily declined for the last decade, and we are currently at 5.12. In terms of financial awards, the district received 3 awards in 2023. These awards are from the Association of School Business Officials International, and they are the Certificate of Excellence in Financial Reporting, the Meritorious Budget Award, and the Certificate of Achievement in Excellence in Financial Reporting. We have received these 3 awards every year for the last 15 years, and that is largely attributable to the work that Dr. Harkin did in her previous role and the work that Jennifer Porter is doing in her current role. So thank you to both of you for that. To highlight our facilities, District 300 continued to support all students by offering well-maintained buildings in 2023. I'd like to mention a recognition that was bestowed at Big Timber Elementary School, which is the newest school in District 300, which is now open in its 2nd year. In 2023, Big Timber received an Excellence in Engineering Award from the Illinois chapter of American Society of Heating, Refrigerating, and Air Conditioning Engineers. This award recognizes that Big Timber's engineering project demonstrated innovation in categories of energy, sustainability, and indoor environmental quality. The strategic plan work for resources and facilities was largely focused on Goal 5 in 2023. And finally, this evening, we'll look at teachers and staff. Niche provided a grade of B+ in this area. And we'll take a look at some of the highlights from our staff accomplishments last year. First, Dr. Susan Harkin won the Kane County Regional Office of Education Administrator of the Year Award. I know many board members and many on the cabinet were there that evening to celebrate Dr. Harkin's success, and we congratulate you again on that. Yasmin Villamar is a teacher at DeLacy, and she received the Those Who Excel Award from the Illinois State Board of Education. Sleepy Hollow Elementary School teacher Zaki Russo was named the D300 Distinguished Educator of the Year by the D300 Foundation, and at that same event, CMS Family School Liaison Melissa Edith Garcia was named the Distinguished Employee of the Year by the Foundation. Dr. Catherine Hoving is an English teacher at Hampshire High School. She was nominated for the Kane County Regional Office of Education High School Teacher of the Year honor. Justine Kylo, a teacher of the visually impaired at Dundee Crown. She received an Excellence in Teaching Award from the Illinois Association of Blind Students. And we had 686 staff members recognized through the district's Note of Appreciation program. There is one more award we would like to highlight tonight. We do want to recognize an award that was provided to Matt Bishop. So Matt was a friend to the communications department. Over the years, we had the privilege of working with Matt on several projects. He was always an absolute joy to work with. The image you're seeing is from an award that we received in, Matt recorded a song for this video, and during this he played the keyboard and he sang along. The photo you're seeing is from a day when Casey, our Director of Communications, who's in the back, and Shannon Flaherty, our graphic designer, we had the opportunity to go to DMS and provide Matt with that award in front of all of his colleagues. And that's just something that we were really proud of. We just want to thank Matt for his contributions and his friendship over the years. So our strategic plan focus for teachers for this year is related to goal number 3, develop staff and retain great staff. So as we saw this evening, the district has achieved a great deal in 2023, and we have much to celebrate. The district will continue to work together with our Board of Education to ensure that future success by continuing progress on our strategic plan with a focus on strong educational outcomes for all students. This work is intended to support District 300's central mission, which is to provide engaging and inclusive educational experiences that empower and equip all students to discover, innovate, and succeed now and in the future. Be happy to take any questions if you might have them.
Board members, anything? Nancy?
I don't have a question, but I'd like to thank our staff and everybody in this, every employee we have in this district, who I consider educators all, on the work that's been done to on overcoming some pretty hefty problems we're having with academics and discipline and things like that, and making a lot of these successes that we've been talking about tonight possible. You guys do a great job every day for us in this district, and I think I'm speaking for the rest of the board saying thank you, and that you always have our support and our admiration and our thanks. Thank you.
Any other board members? No, Anthony, I appreciate all the updates that you give to not only the board, but to the parents whenever something goes out, the email blast or something. That's a very good job.
Thank you, sir.
With that.
Thank you.
Okay. Board discussion. Any updates on the board committees?
Yes, the next Operations Committee meeting will be held on Tuesday, April 9th at 4:30. As we always mention, that's where we do a lot of the discussions about the things that we'll vote on later in this meeting. So if you're able to attend or now watch online, that's where you can get kind of some background on what we'll vote on later this evening.
Any board comments about anything? No?
I do.
Go- Okay.
Henry, Noel, Jillian, thank you for coming tonight and telling us again that you're right, we failed you again. And while I'm glad that the play did very well and went off great this weekend, I'm very sorry for what you've had to go through in the weeks beforehand, especially this most recent couple of weeks where you wanted to celebrate this publicly and openly within the school and were not allowed to. Honestly, I was not aware of any of those restrictions. If I was, I would have objected, to be honest with you. But I promise you, as long as I'm on this board, I will work as hard as I can to make sure that we do not fail anybody again. And you have my promise on that, and you can hold it to me anytime. Thank you again for coming, and thank you to the staff, all the students, the community, the parents, for supporting these kids, supporting our arts department. My daughter is a music teacher in the school district. She went through the fine arts departments and, band and orchestra, et cetera, over the years, and it's something that inspired her so much she became a teacher of music, because she believes in it so much. And you have my promise that I will not let this happen again. Thank you.
I too would like to agree with Nancy. I'm sorry that we failed you. It sounds like again. My daughter and I attended the musical on Friday night, and the energy in the theater was phenomenal. She wanted to go back, but we couldn't get more tickets. But it was really, it wasn't just the energy that was coming from the stage, it was the energy in the entire room. So I applaud you for doing what was difficult to try and make this happen and for working through the challenges that were put in place. Thank you for putting on a great show. I do have a couple updates. On February 29th, I attended the IASB Kishwaukee Divisional Meeting. So I just thought I would give a little update to the board on what was covered there. There were 3 topics that were covered. One was, that probably might be the most interest to the board, was, Vision 2030, which is a group that's working to kind of set a strategic vision for what we want public education to look like moving forward. And so they're kind of trying to steer that and then work along with legislatures to make change happen in public education. If you're interested in learning anything more about that group or getting involved, you can go to IllinoisVision2030.com. So I encourage you at least to look at what they're doing there. Also discussed was AI in education, just kind of some general discussions around how it can be used in a good way and some of the negatives to AI. And then also a session on board parent member hat and how that can be something that we have to juggle. So I encourage you to attend the next meeting, so I'm not the only one there, because they do present some good information there. And then yesterday I attended Representative Anna Muller's education update, where she provided just some information on what the governor's proposed budget that came out in February might have to help public education. It still will be going through appropriation, so we won't know kind of where it all lands in May, but just a few of the highlights were an increase to evidence-based funding, which will help. An increase for early childhood education block grant to advance Smart Start Illinois plan, keep that going. An increase in funds for CTE programs, which I think we're trying to push more for that in our district as well. Dr. Freeman was there as well, and she was very excited about this item, which was state literacy plan implementation. So now they have a state plan to help us with our literacy scores, and that would be a funded item hopefully next year.
Any other board members have anything?
Yeah, I just want to chime into what my colleagues have said about the play. I want to commend you all for coming up here to speak up again. You guys did an outstanding job. I was so, amazed about how professional and how outstanding it was. I felt really bad because my kids were in that school for so many years and I never attended any play. And I was just appalled. I was just amazed about how good you guys did. Just know that you will always have my support. Music is something that my kids did when they were there. They were part of the band, the choir. And I love music and arts, so you always have my back. So just know you have my support as well.
Any other board members? I attended all 3 of the performances. I'm going to do something that I have not done as your board president. After the meeting, I need to understand how we failed you. And I do not mean to be sarcastic. I need to understand it. So if you would kindly sit with me in this room afterwards and just explain it. This is not going to be an argument or anything like that. I just need to hear, because I know what we did, and all board members were up to date on things. The superintendent notified us of everything. We met with our directors of safety. We did things, and so I just need to hear from you as to what that means. Okay, if you would just kindly do that, I'd appreciate it. Okay, thank you. Next, I'm going to, Dr. Smith, if you don't mind coming over to the podium, I have a question for you. On Monday, March 4th, I had the privilege of visiting Carpentersville Middle School. I was invited to sit with the 7th and 8th grade English Language Arts Professional Learning Community, the PLCs. As an educator, I truly appreciated listening to the rich teacher-led conversations dedicated solely to the improvement of instruction and enhancement of student learning. All of our schools have PLCs, professional learning committees, and they meet minimally 2 times per month and utilize the guiding principle that this is what's called protected time. They're going to only talk about improving student learning and achievement. They're not going to talk about the next field trip or anything other than that. Each grade level team examined testing data from common formative assessments used by the entire grade level team. These deep dives into the examination of the student results is called disaggregating the data. This means each teacher closely looked at each of their students' test data to determine where each of their students did well and where there was room for improvement. If a majority of a particular class or even the grade level didn't do well on a certain concept, then the grade level team would have a discussion to see what can be changed to ensure more students would master the skill or concept being taught. Additionally, the team examined what is being taught at the next grade level and how their instruction should be built up. An education term is scaffolding from grade level to grade level, so the concepts can be learned and mastered. Teacher-led discussions focused upon examples of how one-person classroom instruction and instructional strategies could have a more positive impact, meaning a higher number of students achieving mastery, thus a better understanding of the content. These teacher-led thought exchanges or conversations were rich with ideas and suggestions. Each of these grade level teams clearly showed to me how meaningful and important these PLC times are for the overall improvement and enhancement of instruction and student learning. 2 things. I gave to you before the board meeting a list of names. I don't want to mispronounce the names. So I'd like to recognize the 7th and 8th grade PLCs or the teachers, ELA teachers, if you don't mind, please.
Yeah, so the 7th grade PLC consisted of Danielle Salafosky, Emily Rao, Sarah Ortiz, Olivia Sweich, Lauren Sturwald, Caitlin Leone, and Craig Sitton. And the 8th grade team consisted of Jessica Went, Sarah Brown, Megan Wilson, Pam Zinkus, Emily Dickerson, Judy Kim, Brandon Fry, and Andrea Meir. And I think the administrators that supported those teams that day were the principal, Matt Langton, and the associate principal for instruction, Nicole Morris.
Correct. Dr. Smith, I'm going to put you on the spot right now. I apologize for this. But can you just tell me what's attributed to the overall improvement at CMS?
Leadership. That school has a principal who came there to work with them through a vision that they have agreed upon from every position in that building, from principal to dean to classroom teacher to hallway monitor. All positions were a part of instilling what the vision of that school should be for kids. And I think when you have a leader that can focus the entire school on what needs to happen for kids and the partnerships that he's been able to foster with the community and our union groups, in particular for this activity, Mr. Williamson and his team. When you can put all those things together to work towards success for kids, these are the kinds of outcomes that you start to see.
Very good. Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. We're on number 11, consent items. As a note to those in attendance, both virtually and in person, some of these items have been vetted through the Board Operations Committee, which is why there may not be a need for new discussion. Do I have a motion to approve the consent items?
So moved.
Second.
Madam Secretary, would you please take the roll?
Fiorentino,
Aye.
McKindy,
Aye.
Scarpino,
Aye.
Zettler, Thomas, Burkett, aye. Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you. Item number 12 are the roll call action items. 12.1, approval of the IHSA Athletics Membership Agreement renewal. Do I have a motion for the approval of the IHSA Athletic Membership Agreement renewal?
So moved.
Madam, any discussion? Madam Secretary, would you please take the roll?
McKindy,
Aye.
Thomas, Burkett, aye. Fiorentino,
Aye.
Zettler,
Aye.
Scarpino.
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
12.2, approval of concrete work district-wide bid. Do I have a motion for the approval of the concrete work district-wide bid?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Madam Secretary, would you please take the roll?
Zettler,
Aye.
Burkett, aye. Thomas.
Aye.
Fiorentino,
Aye.
Scarpino.
Aye.
McKindy.
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you. Item 12.3, approval of custodial supplies bid and uniforms contract extension. Do I have a motion for the approval of the custodial supplies bid and uniforms contract extension?
Second.
Any discussion? Madam Secretary, would you please take the roll?
Thomas.
Aye.
Fiorentino.
Aye.
Scarpino.
Aye.
McKindy.
Aye.
Burkett, aye. Zettler.
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you. Item 12.4, approval of alternative education service contract renewal. Do I have a motion for the approval of the alternative education service contract renewal?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Madam Secretary, would you please take the roll?
McKindy.
Aye.
Zettler.
Aye.
Fiorentino.
Aye.
Thomas.
Aye.
Burkett, aye. Scarpino.
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you. Item 12.5, approval of building and facilities inventory and appraisal services contract. Do I have a motion for the approval of the building and facilities inventory and appraisal services contract?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Madam Secretary, would you please take the roll?
Burkett, aye. Zettler.
Aye.
McKindy.
Aye.
Thomas.
Aye.
Scarpino.
Aye.
Fiorentino.
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you. Item 12.6, approval of middle school year-end event contract. Do I have a motion for the approval of the middle school year-end event contract?
So moved.
Any discussion? Madam Secretary, would you please take the roll?
McKindy.
Aye.
Thomas.
Aye.
Fiorentino.
Aye.
Scarpino.
Aye.
Burkett, aye. Zettler.
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you. Item 12.7, approval of NIA services and fee contract renewal. Do I have a motion for the approval of the NIA services and fee contract renewal?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Madam Secretary, would you please take the roll?
McKindy.
Aye.
Zettler.
Aye.
Thomas. Fiorentino.
I'll abstain due to sitting on the board of the NIA.
Okay, Scarpino.
Aye.
Burkett, aye. Motion passes 5-0-1.
Item 12.8, approval of physical education uniforms contract extension. Do I have a motion for the approval of the physical education uniforms contract extension?
So moved.
Discussion? Madam Secretary, would you please take the roll?
Zettler.
Aye.
Thomas. Burkett, aye. McKindy.
Aye.
Scarpino.
Aye.
Fiorentino.
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you. Item 12.9, approval of prom venue contract. Do I have a motion for the approval of the prom venue contract?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Madam Secretary, would you please take the roll?
Thomas.
Aye.
Zettler.
Aye.
McKindy.
Aye.
Scarpino.
Aye.
Fiorentino.
Aye.
Burkett, aye. Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you. Item 12.10, approval of technology services contract renewals.
So moved.
Do-
Oh, sorry.
Do I have a motion for the approval of the technology services contract renewals?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Madam Secretary, would you please take the roll?
Burkett, aye. Fiorentino.
Aye.
McKindy.
Aye.
Zettler.
Aye.
Scarpino.
Aye.
Thomas.
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you. Item 12.11, approval of non-resident student application and tuition number 2. Do I have a motion for the approval of non-resident student application and tuition number 2.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Madam Secretary, would you please take the roll?
Zettler. McKindy.
Aye.
Scarpino.
Aye.
Fiorentino.
Aye.
Burkett. Aye. Thomas. Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Oh.
Madam Secretary, would you please take the roll?
Fiorentino.
Aye.
Thomas. Zettler.
Aye.
Scarpino.
Aye.
Burkett. Aye. McKindy.
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you. We are adjourned.